Okay, I'm going to put the water pump back on my leg. As you can see, I've got my leg wedged in an upright position on an approved Mercruiser stand for the purpose of this job, so I can work on it upright and slide everything down. The first thing I'll be putting on is this lower casing. Now this lower casing has a gasket on this face here. In that groove there it has an O-ring, and that seals the oil in the bottom half of the leg. If you look in here, it has two lip seals that are already fitted to this housing. This lip seal, if you see, the cup is facing down to seal the oil. On the other side, if you look in there, you can see there's the seal for the water, and that has got the cup facing the water. Now how lip seals work is fluid pressure goes into the back of that cup where that spring is, and as the fluid pressure increases, it increases inside that cup, which pushes the seal tighter against the shaft. So the more liquid pressure you have, the more pressure you have pushing that seal against the shaft, giving it a better seal. So I've got a bit of grease and stuff on here already. I'm just going to pop this back together, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the gasket on this face first, and then I'm going to put the O-ring on. And what that does is that means that I'm not going to try, if I put the gasket in there and then put the O-ring on there and try and push it all together, then that O-ring is going to try and push its way past the gasket that's already there, and it could damage the gasket. So I'm going to put that together and then I'm going to fit it. So I'll just put it together now. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little smear of grease on here. And this is just to hold the gasket in place while I'm doing what I'm going to do. Okay, so there's the grease, and here's the lower gasket. No, sorry, here's the lower gasket. And that lower gasket goes on that way. Just make sure it's all the way home, and that's quite tight around the outside of that. So like I say, if I'd put the O-ring on first, it would, as I pushed it down, it would have pulled that gasket. So that's the gasket on. I'm going to put a bit of grease while we're here with the grease inside those lip seals, and what that'll do is that will help them slide into place, but it'll also give them a little bit of lubrication when they first kick up, when there's sort of nothing in it on its initial startup. Now I'm going to get the O-ring and slide it into that groove that's around the outside. There's the O-ring. Just pop that into that groove there, so it's all nicely seated. A bit of grease on that, help seal it. Bit of grease on that face there, won't do it any harm. Then I'm just gonna slip that down over the shaft. All the way down. And into place. I'm just going to give it a gentle push down, so as it drops down into that recess in the top of that housing. And there we go, that's all the way down now. Now the next gasket that goes on is this one. By the way, this isn't a how-to video, this is just me doing this. There are lots of videos on YouTube of people putting these together, and they're probably a lot better than mine, using all the proper stands, proper tools, torque settings, etc. I'm not telling you how to do it, I'm just showing you how I'm doing it. This is the next gasket that I'm going to put on. You see it's shaped similar to the bottom of that plate, so it sits on that plate like that, and it seals that plate against that housing. There's a little dowel hole in it there that meets up with this dowel here, so we're just going to drop that on in place, slide it down, into place, so that it meets up with that dowel hole there, that dowel hole there, and there we have it. Push it all down in, so it's all nice and home, and away we go. Just going to put a smear of grease on this. Now this plate has like a bit of a bulge bit there. That has to face down. Bear in mind your impeller's turning on here, so if that was faced up like that, the impeller would catch that and it'd cut it to shreds. So that bit there sits on there, down, like so. Oh, this is a bit tight. Away we go. Get that down onto those two dowels, and there it goes. It's sat down right onto those two dowels, one there and one there. Next gasket that goes on is this one. This is the one that seals the water pump housing onto that plate. Again, a bit more grease just to smear over it. This will probably help it come apart again. That gasket, and drop that down in there. Okay, onto that dowel there, that dowel there, that dowel there. Okay, now I've got to get the impeller into this bit. Now I've started my impeller into the casing, and I've got it so that the rubber of the blades is starting to go around. And to help me, I wrapped a cable tie around the impeller just to get it started. So I'm going to cut that off and shove it all the way in. So I've cut that off now. I'm just trying to pull it out, keeping those impeller blades going the right way, and it's just a case of just gently keeping a bit of pressure on those blades and easing them into that impeller housing. And it's shoved right in, and that's what it looks like. Okay. Now my keyway groove is here. I've lined the key up with these two studs, so I need to rotate that impeller round to get that keyway in line with that back bolt there, and just have a little shove around with it and get it so that it's playing the game. Okay, put my key in place. I've got that held in place with a bit of grease. I've smeared a bit of grease up and down here so that impeller will slide onto it and hopefully it won't stick on it again. And now I'm going to slide all that down on there, try and line it all up and slip it on, and there we have it. That went on easier than I thought it would. And now I'm going to get the washer on, and the nut on the back, washer on, nut on the front, washer on, nut on this one, and then this like screw bolt down in the front. I'll just get a little socket set. I've got my sockets to tighten them up, and I'm just going to try and nip these down equally. So as soon as that goes down there, get this one, like that. That a nip. This like big self tapper. This obviously just bolts the water pump casing together. You just give that a nip. Go around them all. Give them a nip. Pulling them down equally as I go. I think that's about it for that. And that's about it for that. Same for that. Not going massive on these. I don't think the torques are very big on them. There probably is a torque in a manual. I haven't got a manual. So it's just a suck it and see job. That looks all pretty good. And there's a rubber slides down over there, right, so sorry, I have got another O-ring that sits in here. I'll put that one on when I go to fit this into the top half of the leg. I've also got a little tiny O-ring here which goes into there. Again, when I put the leg together, that seals the oil way from the lower case to the upper case. And there we have it. I've got a water tube. That water tube sits in there, and that is the guide for the upper leg water tube to slide down into there, into the water pump. There you go. That's all I'm doing to this today. Put my water pump back together. Okay then, so that's the raw water pump changed in the bottom of my Alpha 1 Generation 1 leg. It's another job off the tick list on the boat, and hopefully we'll carry on and get a bit more done. Thanks for watching. If this was any use to you, that's brilliant. If you enjoyed it, that's good as well. And thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you soon. Subscribe if you want more. Just one more thing, these videos, they've helped connect me with a few people that I haven't seen to speak to for years. I actually got a message off my cousin who lives in Canada. So it just goes to show it's like a bit of a social thing as well as an informative thing on my projects, on what I'm doing. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more.